On the 10th of February, we left Tanga, sailing for Shimoini. This was a 47 nautical mile sail, which took us to about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Shimoini is the southernmost town in Kenya where boats can enter and clear immigration and customs. Opposite the small town of Shimoini is a small island called Wasini Island, and also in the area is the Kenya Wildlife Authority, because just off the island Wasini there is a marine national park. The Kenya Wildlife Authority have built this beautiful jetty, floating jetty, where all the guests can climb onto boats to go to the marine park, and it's a great place for us to anchor off and use for our dinghy. Clearing into Kenya was very easy and not complicated at all, quite seamless in fact. And once we were checked in, we went into the village and we found a Kenya flag that we got one of the local tailors to stitch a little piece on so we could hang it on the boat. The dogs loved coming to shore and exploring all of the nature in the area, including goats, which they had never encountered before in their lives. On the 13th of February, we decided to go to the Kilifi National Park for the day to do some snorkeling and some diving, and basically just check out what kind of underwater life was around. They have large buoys that are anchored in the ocean bottom in the park, and you're not allowed to anchor in the park, but you can tie up to the buoys as part of your entry fee to the park. And once you're anchored and you're situated there for the day, a marine parks vessel will come past just to check you have tickets for the park, to allow you to be inside there for the day. There had been quite a bit of rain and bad weather in terms of wind and storms before we arrived in Kenya, so when we got to the park the water was not the clearest. However, we managed to see some turtles, we saw dolphins swimming, and even being in the water with the dolphins, and some nice small coral reefs that we could see as well. Shimoini was also part of the, was very active in terms of the slave trade, and we went for a tour through one of the caves where they used to keep all the slaves during this time before they put them on ships.
These caves were formed millions of years ago by tiny coral polyps under the sea. Over the millennia, the coastline has been forced upwards by the movement of tectonic plates until what was once a very beautiful coral reef is now a dry land. There are several caves once joined together are reputed to extend
On the 16th of February, we left Shimoini heading for Mombasa. This once again was a day sail. However, what we have come used to is that the winds in the afternoon from about 11 o'clock start blowing quite strongly from the northeast up to 20-25 knots every afternoon. The anchorage at Mombasa was really amazing. We spent the evening there. The next morning we went into one part of the town and we did some shopping at the supermarket to collect on a whole lot of supplies that we needed in terms of food. And we spent another night there, and the next morning our aim was to leave and go up to Kilifi. However, due to the city being so beautiful, we decided that we would come back to Mombasa to spend some more time here in the future. Leaving Mombasa behind as we're going out to sea. On the 18th of February 21, we basically left Mombasa at 6:30 in the morning, making our way out into the open sea down the shipping channel. And then we raised the sails and we set sail for Kilifi. Kilifi, we were going to arrive at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Once again from Mombasa to Kilifi, we had a pod of dolphins swimming in the bow of the boat. One never gets tired of seeing dolphins in the sea like this. It's truly amazing, and it's just so beautiful to watch every single time. This ship's going all the way up to Lamu. The entry into Kilifi was our trickiest entry by far so far in our journey. As you're coming into the creek, the first thing that you have to do is line yourself up on the side of the bank, on the left hand side, on the port side of the bank, as close as you can to the shore without hitting the coral reefs. And then you have to pass underneath very low high tension cables that are supplying the city with electricity. So you're going on the left hand side, so you go through the highest part of the cable so you can get the mast underneath. And as you go under the cables, then you need to swing the boat to the right or the starboard side, move to the center of the bridge, and the bridge you have to go through in the center, and once again you go through it very slowly and carefully, which is sometimes difficult when the tide is pushing in or out because it's moving the boat forwards or backwards. And you slowly go underneath the bridge, and only once you're through the bridge are you safe. Now we know this is complicated because earlier in December we met a boat that had hit their mast on the bridge and broken their wind indicator off the top. So we were quite concerned when we got to this bridge.
Together, it's so beautiful, you and me, we meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. Sometimes you need to go and take a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell.
Once the boat was safely anchored in Kilifi and everything was settled, I hopped on a local motorbike and went off to the customs office to get the documents to be able to stay in Kilifi.
In the great outdoors, forever free, you and me, meant to be in the great outdoors, forever.
The boatyard at Kilifi is known for welcoming cruisers, and it's a wonderful place to anchor, get some things sorted out on the boat. There's a nice restaurant on the shore. There's some staff that can help you to fix some things in the boat if you require it. And all in all, it's just a really nice place to spend some time. The sea's nice and calm inside the bay, so it is really nice to spend some time on anchor here. In Pemba Island, we had managed to get some rope around our one propeller, damaging a part of the propeller. So we had some parts shipped from New Zealand for the propeller all the way to Kilifi in Kenya. and they were waiting for us when we got there. So on the 28th of February, we put the boat on the sand, which was a high tide, waited for the tide to go out. Then we could take off the propeller and change the part in it that had been damaged with the new part. And we used the opportunity to clean the hull and clean the propellers and the sail drives. And we had some anti-fouling left from when we did the job last year. So we put that on, and then basically we just waited for the tide to come back, which refloated the boat, and off we went back to our anchorage again. Okay, so here we've got Syrian out. Take the propeller off. Cleaning the bum. So it looks like it's skew. That's good. What do you say, Lovey? Hard work? Terrible, huh? The 27th of February was a very sad evening. Our little bitchy that had been with us for 11 years died, and we needed to bury her in Kilifi. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to see our further episodes.